Um, it's fun to see everybody enjoying themselves, engaging with the founders. That's the key thing that we need. So change pace here. We have my friend Yoshi visiting from Kyoto.
Yes, Kyoto.
And there's so many inside jokes. Every time I talk to Yoshi, I go, I'm always craving Japanese food.
Sushi every night.
He doesn't know how to react to that because no one would say stuff like that. But
Only
he's
you.
never challenged me to I just challenged him to a sumo fight, and where we both wear speedos and fight on stage here. And 88% of people said they did not want to see me in a speedo.
Yeah, it was 87%. But yeah.
So we're change of pace. Yoshi has seen it all. He's lived across the globe. He's building Alpaca.
Yes.
Give us a 2-minute before the slide.
Yeah.
Give us a 2-minute on Alpaca and where you are today. Not the data, but just Alpaca, the business company.
Sure. I'm Yoshi. I'm the co-founder, CEO of Alpaca. 2 years ago, I did the presentation to introduce who we are, and I asked you if there's a difference between llama and alpaca picture. This picture is alpaca, not llama. This is a fluffier, more friendly, which means it's alpaca. So that's the company's name. Should I explain more?
You don't. There's many people from Iran
Yeah,
who
of
are used
course.
to
Yeah.
seeing alpaca.
Yeah.
Goats and alpaca. There is the same thing. They look the same from behind.
Yeah.
People said more jokes. I don't know. Mike, this one's on you. I can't please an audience.
Yeah.
So, anyways, but no, seriously, we joke around with our LPs because they're friends of ours.
Yeah.
So alpacas only. Go ahead.
Yes. So what we do is brokerage infrastructure that allows stocks, option, crypto investing to be implemented into the bunch of applications, and also bunch of different versions of Robinhoods. In right now, today, we have 35 different countries, like these apps. So these apps are basically, everyone is inspired by Howard, Robinhood, and then they're building their own version of Robinhoods in each different country. Of course, each different country needs different languages, different culture, different colors. So some of them are in Turkish, some of them are Japanese, some of them are Thai or Arabic. And we are the infrastructure to allow them to be able to build these applications like this.
It's a magnificent undertaking, and I'll tell you what I got right and wrong. I mean, this goes to the company. When did you start?
We originally started in 2015, and I've continued to follow you before becoming a broker dealer.
Yeah, so we've gone through many iterations.
Yes.
The company's had to evolve. What's amazing about the company is you've moved from Japan back to San Francisco, back to Kyoto.
Correct.
So he's living in Kyoto. How many people are in Japan?
2 years ago, we bought a broker dealer in Japan. So now we have 11 people in Japan, but not in Kyoto. I'm the only one who's in Kyoto. So please let me know if you are in Kyoto next time.
Believe me, Tom has pictures. If you want to go to Kyoto, call Yoshi.
Yes.
That's our code word. Yoshi is the code word. And he will set you up with some... Yeah, it's just a code. Call Yoshi. And Tom has pictures to show you what Yoshi can show you in Kyoto. It's a very dangerous place for people of your age. The special Blue Cross thing. I don't think you know. Marlene's welcome. She would love Kyoto.
Yes.
So Yoshi has a great sense of humor. We've been through. There's so many people in this room that are involved in the company. Been through many iterations. Confidentially, they're truly confidential. They're closing on a very large round with a global conglomerate media company in the next 45 days, signed and everything. And the thing that I got right and wrong is when I talked to him originally, I didn't like the valuation. This typical Howard conversation. Valuation stupid. And right?
Yes, of course.
And what did you do?
Yeah, and then we had to do a massive recap.
No, you went and didn't listen to me, and you went to Y Combinator.
Yes, and then that also made
They're
you
a
even
racist
mad.
organization.
Yes.
Truly is.
Yeah, everyone is, I guess.
Yeah. Well, not me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true.
They're not. They're
Yeah.
not. They're not brave enough to make Japanese jokes.
That is true.
Yes.
No sushi joke.
So you.
Yeah.
Our lawyer is here.
Yeah.
Is your lawyer too?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So you went to Y Combinator.
Yes.
What did you learn? What was the the product's different than that. So you raised money at Y Combinator.
So when we went to the Y Combinator, it was like preliminary version of this. So we were just doing the API trading product, broker dealer, but for the algorithmic trading. Yeah. But then we quickly realized that there's a big demands that people want to actually build something like Robinhood using the API. Yeah. So we realized that that's going to be a much massive opportunities.
Yeah. My one insight was when he pitched me, it was like, Plaid for brokerage, and we all hated Apex. Robinhood was built on Apex. But long story short, my idea, which has been wrong, which goes to, the team's effort, was there'd be 1,000 Robinhoods. I just thought they'd all be in the US, right? I didn't understand how global this phenomenon was. Well, what I got wrong is there's probably only one Robinhood. There's many copycats, but no one has a business. So Robinhood is Lucky Sperm Club. I don't know what you call it. They've survived, and they've scared everybody out of the industry. Now, I think that will revert in a few years, and there'll be challengers again. But Yoshi was smart enough to move internationally. Yeah. So would you say the biggest change of the company?
Yes, definitely. So we now have 175 businesses spread it out across in 35 different countries. We did not intentionally go to those 35 different countries, but the demands came to us. So we have apps, of course, in Japan or US, Mexico, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Kuwait, Turkey, Kazakhstan, Nigeria, like those places I even never been to before. But because of this API first approach, we were able to attract a lot of developers, engineers, and they speak the universal language of coding. So, that spread it out across the globe, and they came to us, oh, I want to probably make better version of Robinhood in my country. So all of those founders, entrepreneurs came to our platform, and then Alex continued to close the deals.
Yeah, so Alex is one of our LPs, now head of sales at this company. So we believe in, what do you call that word? When your families all come to work for each other. Yeah, we're social Trump. So look at all the alpacas all over the place. And a tribute to this is Hitoshi, who's been here many years. He's now moving to the Middle East.
Yes.
So co-founder Hitoshi
has been in San Francisco for 10 plus years now. But
and so he's moving to where the puck is, which is what makes the Middle East so exciting.
So our revenue now, is this. So since 2 years ago, I was able to fortunate to present ourselves. Our revenue grew more than 10x. Now revenue composition is around 25% United States, but 75% come from outside United States. 25% come from APAC, and then another 35% come from Greater Middle East region, and the rest of them come from Europe, Africa, and LATAM. So, very much widely distributed in terms of the revenue source. But like what we definitely realize is that some region has faster pace of the growth when we see many applications and user growth, and that happened to be definitely the area around the Middle East. So Hitoshi, my co-founder, decided to move there so that, of course, like we have to continue to meet the, clients there. And that Dubai has very good airport to have a hub to the Israel and to Yoni, to Saudi and like other places.
And so how do you feel about the markets in general? Or is there more slide? Like, is there one more slide or is there?
No, this is a slide, but this was the last one.
Okay.
But yeah.
So how do you feel about the world and the markets and like where is like the market's dropped 30%. How does your business survive that? Like everybody starts selling stocks. So tell me how you think about the world.
Yeah, definitely. I think like last 2 years, it was very much big ups and down. We were stupid to grow our headcounts to almost 300 people, and we had to do 2 big layoffs. To now we are around 150 people, and then we are slowly growing based on the very much quantifiable reasoning and logics. What's we really need. So I think like we're growing at a very healthy pace, but definitely like stocks going up and down, demands fluctuate. It does impact our business. However, because of our diversification of our client base and then also revenue base, allowed us to be pretty stable in terms of the actual revenue that we are getting. For example, like we saw very much like negative or pessimistic atmosphere to the market in the United States. We didn't see that much of the slowdown in terms of the accumulation of the assets under custody in the Middle East. We continue to have seen very strong growth, whereas asset accumulation in the United States kind of slowed down. So I think we continue to see the different pace of the maturity and the how it's gonna allow the people to invest in and put the money into the system.
And the customers in the Middle East, are they buying what we're buying? Are they mad about Tesla and FANG? What's the difference in cultural?
I think like they are still not yet matured enough to do the very strong cherry picking of the stocks. They continue to have very much like ETFs type of the investing instead of cherry picking, except some of the very local, super local stock that happen to be publicly traded in the US. Most of them are like pink sheets, but like there are some non-US companies that's traded there.
And what about, so talk about the product roadmap. So stocks, obviously American stocks, the options have gone bananas, maybe because Robinhood, maybe because of the degenerate economy, maybe because iPhone and kids and margin and whatever. Is that something that's on the roadmap? How are you think about options?
So I'm just going to go back to this revenue slide. I'm super excited about this year because we are about to launch options in actually 1 week. Next week, we are having the our entrepreneur partnership in Abu Dhabi Summit. We're going to launch that there. If you look at the revenue composition of the Robinhood or even Interactive Brokers, the options revenue is around like 4x of the stocks. So we have not even unlocked the revenue potential of like what we are seeing right now. So I'm very much personally excited about the short-term revenue that we're going to see.
And then where does crypto fit in?
Yeah, crypto is a very interesting animal. We continue to serve many different countries, but like the regulatory framework that I started seeing is like that each country started to having more localized framework, where like you need to put the custody the assets locally instead of like centralized, where U.S. securities has to be always in the United States. So we have to have a little bit different approach to kind of skew towards more of the software instead of like having the whole system of having a providing custody solution.
And so how do you deal with the different countries and holding money? What percent of the budget is legal, if I can, or just the fintech regulation? Because every country is different. It's kind of like the cloud.
Yes. Each country is different. For example, Indonesia, U.S. stocks is considered and categorized as a derivative security. And then in Japan, U.S. securities is not even written in a law. So like, it's all gray area. And like, in India, like, you shouldn't have a broker dealer to offer U.S. stocks. But if you have a broker dealer, it becomes more difficult to offer U.S. stocks. So each country has a very different like understanding and like, how we have to get around. But like, fortunately, we get so many inbounds and the entrepreneurs do their homework for their home country and they give us all the knowledge, which basically like allowed us to train ourselves.
Yeah. So this, as you can see, this is an API driven business. One thing that's exciting is what you've learned is it's about trading, and whether we got right or wrong, you've gotten a lot right now. But where does now you move up channel? Let's talk about software in fintech, because you've built more than just trading software. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. I think there are two things that we're really focusing on, and I think one thing is that, in my opinion, any startups journey that we see is that we start from the startups, serving startups, and then we start serving mid-market, and then eventually get to more of the enterprise customers. And sales cycle gets longer as we go up the funnel. But I think we have been fortunate to start getting to the space where we're able to close big financial institutions contracts. We work with the biggest broker dealer in Japan. We work with one of the biggest bank in Indonesia and also Thailand. So we're getting there. So we're changing that course of the business like that. And in order to do so, we of course have to continue to change our offering. So we have to put more emphasis on not what we can do in terms of the brokerage and the financial services side, but also the technology. We have built all the books and records system and accounting and ledger system from scratch, which is dominated by few companies like Broadridge, FIS, and their contract value duration is around 27 years. It's kind of similar to the
These are billion-dollar companies that have bad software and bad attitudes.
It's similar to what is a gym software, right? It's
MindBody.
Yeah, right. It's been super legacy, close to 30 years. So it's about to be disrupted. So I think we're fortunate to be in this timing to be able to build everything from scratch with very much fastest language available. So
again, a lot of these things sound exciting. And my original ideas are be 1,000 Robin Hoods in the United States. Got that wrong. I do think we're going to come back to that world.
Yes,
because they're not building what the customers really want. They've become a degenerate economy company catering to the few percent. Which of these companies has surprised you the most? Who's innovated the most on top of your platform? That's one question. The second one, who's been the most innovative in design?
Design. The second question, I don't have any sense of design. That's why we're building the infrastructure business. So I don't want to comment on that.
It's a good answer, actually. Yeah, bad question. So which company has surprised you the most?
I think this one top left, the blue one, Midas. This is actually very kind of impacting to me personally as well. We launched our B2B2C business 3 years ago, and they're one of the two companies who launched with us from nothing. And they just closed 50 million Series A in Turkey. So they just raised the biggest Series A round in the whole country in the history. And then they now have 2 million users on their platform. And then they're growing massively. Basically most of the stuff that they have done, it's all really truly built with us and grown with us. So it's amazing to see how the companies came to us from nothing, and then just growing and raising money and creating a lot of values. So Midas has been very special one for me personally.
And so which leads me to my last question. We'll open to a few questions. And he's here to answer some questions for our founders around growth and strategy and stuff we've seen and made all the mistakes and all the good ideas. In the United States, Robinhood, when they grew, they were built on Apex. Then they decided to build their own stack.
Yes.
So is it the same thing that you worry about for these companies?
I think one thing that's a little bit different from serving the outside United States is that it's mentally, emotionally very difficult to build this basically boring stack. It's so boring. What we're building is back office, middle office, reporting, compliance. Nobody want to talk about it. So from the outside United States, it's really hard to do that emotionally to even hire those people. It's better ROI spent to acquire more customers locally. So we have less concerns working with these companies. I think in the United States, obviously, there are more know-how accumulated amongst the startups, fintech startups. But at the same time, because as you said, there will be again the word of the more thousands of Robinhoods even inside of the United States, which means that you have to make right segmentation in the same country, which means that you have to go lean to nail down the right targeted audience, which means you don't want to be building the whole thing stack.
So unlike America, that they're not going to have the choice.
Outside the US, I don't really worry about it much.
Yeah. But how do they get exits? No one's proved that other countries have the type of exits. I guess you don't care as long as they're paying the bills, right?
We do care. We continue to be always.
No, but there's
optimized,
been no big exits in the space around the world. I mean, eToro is a $4 or $5 billion company now.
Right.
Who's the biggest one here? Is it Midas, or is it one of the Indian companies, or is it a Middle Eastern one?
I think in terms of valuation, the Indian company is probably the biggest one.
Right.
Indmoney.
And what are you seeing about India?
It's continue to grow. Their Indian local market is growing much faster than U.S. market, and that we see even more activity of the derivatives trading, like in futures and options on the Indian stock market. So we see the huge potential continue to be there in India.
And so Yoshi, recaps, I would say pivots, one or two pivots, figuring out the right business model. This goes to what I talked about on our first slide about giving founders having optionality. I know we sound like a broken record when we say what's the price and the optionality for founders. So again, I think this is a marathon, not a race. This is kind of what we preach to be. These things take time, right? And take time. Both you guys have been, the amount of work you guys have done and sacrificed to build something that is hard to duplicate. That's the kind of stuff that's exciting. I'm going to open it up to a few questions, if anybody has. Oh, sorry. Right.
Does your experience overseas allow different countries not just to trade U.S. stocks, but also different countries to trade stocks in their countries? That still seems to be a key problem trying to trade those in the United States.
Yeah, the question is, if Alpaca aims for solving the global stock trading. Yes, that's our goal. Our goal is to build the basically the infrastructure that connects all the asset classes on one side, and then 8.5 billion individuals and the businesses on the earth on the other side. So that's our goal. But obviously, U.S. securities and U.S. assets are something that really everyone wants. Whereas for example, local stocks, it's very much something only specific people need. So in terms of the ROI to build that, it's always difficult to justify. But in order to get to everyone at the end of the day, we have to do it at some point. And that's approaching, we're targeting that towards the end of this year to the next year, where start trying to do that. But I think it's going to be less ROI, but it's going to allow us to get more U.S. Securities interest as well.
Where's Satoshi finding the best engineers? Is it global? Is it local?
So we now have 150 employees in 20 different countries. We are full remote, so we have no office. And then right now, I think engineering team is around 45 people. So they are spread it out across the world, but definitely some of the good talents are coming from the North America, and then Eastern Europe, Hungary.
Yes. Michael.
I had a burning desire to buy stocks in India or stocks in Greece. Would I have the ability to download either of these two platforms here in America and be able to trade that?
If it's in Greece, many times, those outside U.S. applications or brokers don't want to onboard American taxpayers because of the tax complication. So unfortunately, that would be the reality.
Nice try. That would have been that's a Mike question. Go ahead. Yeah. Oh, sorry. This is a Fund 3 company. Invested, way back when. Around
2019.
Yeah, around 6 million valuation.
Yeah.
And now they're closing in on $500 million valuation and 500. Yeah. For you, 400. Check your statement. There's random statements that go out. Those that opt in to tell us they don't know, maybe 300 million. Put them on the list. It's confidential, but right around 500 million. Yeah. So we haven't priced that in, but from Fund 3 on the slide, yeah. One more question. Anybody? Okay, great. Yoshi's here for, thanks for coming in again.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.